Hello everybody, today I wanted to show you my Psychatog deck. This is not exactly the deck that I was playing back in the day in the Odyssey block, and not in 2004 either, where I actually did have a pretty good Psychatog deck, even with the black and blue fetches. But here is something that I have assembled as usual on this channel. We are going to see this deck in action played in Forge. So I just wanted to spice it up with some nice invasion multicolored cards. So let's take a look at how this deck actually works. First of all, let's go through mana base. Of course, the main color of this deck is blue, hence we have got 11 islands. Next, swamps. We've got 5 copies here, and of course there are different variations of Psychatog. So we've got also 4 underground rivers, the pain lands, the tap lands that are pretty underwhelming, and what's even worse is this filter land, but still, as you will see, it works pretty well usually, unless you are disrupted in some way. And very often Psychatog used to be just a mostly blue deck, so almost a purely blue deck, but here I just wanted to get more value from black cards as well. So from black, of course, we have got some removal, we have got some discard as well, some hand disruption, but also some really nice things which we will talk about in a minute. So yeah, Duress, I know it's not a card that would be recommended for the main deck, at least back in the day. I remember this was the criticisms that I had, but I like it quite a lot. Of course, if you're playing against a creature-based deck, sometimes you will risk having this card fizzle, but at least you will know what kind of things they've got in the hand. So yeah, Duress is a nice thing for me, because this is one of the few things you can do on turn 1. Next we have got this very nice looking playset of Smothers. So this deck is very slow, and we don't usually have any creatures of our own early in the game, so that's why we have got Smothers. Used to use Innocent Blood in the past, but again, this is for the variation of the deck where you have only 1 or 2 copies of Psychatog and no creatures at all. This one is slightly different. As for the counter spell package, here we have got Mana Leak, so we've got 4 copies of Mana Leak, and I remember very well that I was very hesitant to use Mana Leak. Back in the day, I actually used Undermine. Now I understand that Undermine is a pretty redundant card. So yes, essentially it's a counter spell with a Lightning Bolt, or should I say Lava Spike. But you know, if you establish board control, then these 3 extra points of damage to your opponent are usually not going to matter, because you're not going to raise your opponent anyway. So yeah, that's why Mana Leak is the card of choice here, in addition to the proper counter spell. Again, there are just so many good cards that could go into this deck, but this is just the build I have now. And yes, let's just again appreciate the variety of counter spells here. All of them look nice. This one is probably the most expensive one because of the art, I don't know, but the 7th edition kind of grew on me. Here I also appreciate these nice colors. This one is a bit weird. This one is perhaps the card that I still have from my original starter that I bought back in the year 2000. Next we have got Factor Fiction. So Factor Fiction is such a difficult card for your opponent to play rather than you, and sometimes you would see that your opponent is just wrecking their brain over how to distribute the piles. Is it going to be a 3-2 or 4-1? Then again, they don't know what you have in your hand. I remember making some bad decisions when playing against decks that run it, and yeah, also here you have noticed that I have got some non-old frame cards, but again, I really like those foils. Yeah, even though this is a more recent foil from the Eternal Master, this was just a card that I, as far as I remember, cracked in a booster box of Eternal Masters that I was opening some time ago. Next we have got this great card accumulated knowledge. Of course, you know, first accumulated knowledge is just a cantrip, pretty bad, but the second one is already better than what you would expect. You know, drawing 2 cards for 1 blue and 1 colorless is great, and this one is just Ancestral Recall, and 4 cards is even better. Of course, it should be played with intuition, but here I'm going to use what I have. I do not have that card in my collection, and probably not going to get that again, because Premodern for me is not something that I'm aiming to collect, and not always ready, unfortunately, to invest a lot of money into it, but still. And yeah, there are 2 copies of Gush. So Gush by itself is a great card. It's maybe a little bit broken, as some people might tell you. But when we talk about Psychatog, the amazing thing about Gush, and I remember these words very well, then when I was talking to some players, so how about using Gush in Psychatog? He told me, of course, because this is +6/+6 to your Psychatog, and that's actually true, right? So I would even say 6.5, right? Why? Because you bounce 2 islands, so that's 2 cards in your hand, then you draw 2 cards, then you discard them all, that's +4/+4, then you remove both of these cards, I mean both of the batches, so to say, and you get +6/+6, and yeah, there is also the Gush itself in the graveyard. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious, but in any case. So yeah, Gush is amazing. Gush is a great card. Now, Probe is a card you don't see every day. I very, very well remember the days when I was just looking at the Invasion, and when this set came out, I wasn't happy about it at all. I really was angry because I just understood the concept of rotation, so Urza's block, which I really liked. Again, I started playing Paper Magic back in August 2000, and this was the time when Urza's block was rotating out, and I was asking myself what's happening, and I mean, why do people say that I've got extended deck and it's somehow more powerful than their deck? And I don't know, it was very weird. Even though I never played in tournaments back in those days, I didn't start playing in tournaments until a couple years later. So yes, next, again, the reason why I started talking about Probe is that overall it has a really nice effect, and there is just so much value, because yes, you can just do drawing 3 and discarding 2 cards. Again, drawing 3 is the essential part, and also let's not forget that cards are not actually wasted, because there are some cards that will have some benefit when they are in our graveyard, and also we've got Psychatog himself. But also with the kicker, your opponent will discard 2 cards. So yeah, the discard, it's not really a discard plan, but a little bit of hand disruption in this deck exists, and it works pretty well. Next, Recoil, another amazing, absolutely really, really well designed card, because yeah, first of all, the art here is maybe a little bit primitive, but I enjoy it a lot. And the thing about it is that you have got this unique combination of abilities. So this is, I remember very well when I was reading an article, and in that article it said that with Invasion, Wizards of the Coast finally understood how to design multicolored cards, and the idea was that they would provide some kind of synergy between the 2 colors, and this synergetic effect would create an entirely new effect on its own, and it is true. So let's look at that. Of course, for blue we have got the bounce part, return target permanent to its owner's hand. This is the boomerang. And from black we have got the player discards a card from his or her hand. So overall it's nice value. Again, maybe you were busy casting something, maybe you didn't manage to counter something that your opponent has cast. In that case, yes, we can bounce and then counter. Or maybe, I don't know, you're going to swing for lethal with your Psychatog, and some creature is just standing in his way. Again, there are other cards that can help you to deal with that, but here we've got a slightly different plan. But again, what I'm saying is that if your opponent doesn't have any cards in their hand, then this essentially will work as an instant Vindicate, destroying the permanent. So this is the synergetic effect that you get from using blue and black abilities together. Really, really nice card to play. Really feels rewarding. A great one. Then we have got Dark Banishing. Yeah, it's one of those removal cards that you could have here. Another thing you could play is perhaps Diabolic Edict and, yeah, or Innocent Blood. Because again, there are some creatures that are not so easy to get rid of. But in any case, this time, this is what I had. And then I couldn't resist including Lobotomy. So for me, actually, this art is probably the more preferable one, because I just knew it earlier. It was actually much later than I realized that this is the reprint of a card from Tempest. Tempest is a great set. It had so many nice staples. It had so many interesting cards with unique effects. It's a really, I would call it, you know, Legends of Premodern, because Legends is an absolutely unique set of old school Magic 93, 94. But in that one we have got a huge set that is Tempest. Well, I'm not sure whether it's huge. I believe it's just the usual large set. 350 cards as far as I remember. But yes, that's what it is. Anyway, what does Lobotomy do? So yes, you look at your opponent's hand and you choose a card which is not a basic land. You can even choose a land which is non-basic, which is nice as well. And you remove it from all the zones that your opponent has. So, well, except for the battlefield, of course. So it's actually a part of the cycle. There were some cards. So for instance, we had Quash, which would be countering and exiling all of the instants or interrupts. We also had the same thing for land destruction in red, also for creature removal in black. But yes, here we have got this, and that's nice. It's a card that I enjoy playing, and it's not really easy to cast, but if you manage to do that, you can even disrupt some huge combo. So it depends on how fast you are. Sadly, as you see here, I don't have Mox Diamond. It's a great card to have. In a later environment, I played Chrome Mox, so this is actually one of the things that I had. And then, of course, it was easier to play, but yeah, obviously we don't have that here. So next, yeah, Psychatog. So Psychatog, of course, yeah, let's appreciate this foil card here. Psychatog is the card that gives the name to the deck. I remember very well that I was playing against my opponent who actually was running this card, and I was wondering, you know, how he would win against me, because we were playing for quite a long time and I wasn't able to do anything. So I mean, he was close to very low life total, but he still wasn't there. And yeah, as soon as he established board control, he just did nothing, and I was wondering what he would do. But then, yeah, he put Psychatog and attacked me for lethal, and yeah, I was just blown away, because it was absolutely amazing thing. It wasn't a huge creature. I mean, it wasn't some kind of a, I don't know, absolutely huge creature for 9 mana or so. So yeah, Psychatog, super efficient. Again, it is one of the Atogs, and Atogs can have combination of different abilities that will let you sacrifice something, and they get +1/+1 for those things. But it is in black and blue that we have got this absolutely unique combination, because look, you discard a card and it gets +1/+1. You can remove 2 cards from your graveyard from the game and gets +1/+1 as well. So you see what kind of synergy we have here. If we sacrifice, I mean, if we discard 2 cards and then exile them, gets +3/+3. So yeah, number one, it makes him pretty tough. So he can be a good blocker. He can be a fearsome attacker. So, you know, you can slowly chip away at your opponents. life total, and he is of course very resilient when it comes to red direct damage, for example. So yeah, overall it is an amazing card. Here I've got 2 copies. You can see different number of copies. Some people play more, some people even play 1 card. And here I also wanted to make use of Shadow Mage Infiltrator, which you don't necessarily see every day, but it's a nice card. It's Finkel after all, as you understand, and yeah, has fear, so most likely will not be blocked. And every turn he attacks and you draw a card, so that's the card advantage we need. It's very nice. And finally we have got Wonder, 2 copies I decided to include. I know that it's not very often that we actually see this card in this deck, but you know, why not? It's actually even a creature, 2/2 for 4 mana, and of course we want to discard him at the right moment when your opponent doesn't expect that, and maybe swing for lethal with Psychatog. So there it is. This is the Psychatog deck that I have got. This suboptimal but fun build, including some nice and unique multicolored cards. So let's look at it in action and go to Forge Games. Before we take a look at the games, I would like to remind you that we have got 2 patrons now, and this is certainly a great beginning, because we are moving forward our goal of 10 patrons before the 1st of October. So our current rank is 2 out of 10, which is Harlon Minotaur, who has of course 2 power, as you understand. So the road from Cavil to Leviathan is 20% complete, but 80% to go. Patreon.com/MTG_Phil if you want to support the channel. There are 2 options, so you can just support the channel, think of it as a tip jar, and this will motivate me, this will help me create videos more frequently and dedicate a bit more time to editing and producing content. And if you want to have a custom video based on your request, then you have got the rare tier. But in any case, whether you support me on Patreon or not, I definitely appreciate it, and I would like to thank our supporters Cam and Plague Doctor. Let's start with some tough love, and we're going to try and play against goblins, but don't think it's going to happen. So let's just see what our opponent has. A ton of good creatures and enough mana as well, and our duress is actually wasted. So that's a bad start, of course. Well, I mean, what would you expect? There is the War Chief as well. But at least we can kill War Chief, even though he has haste. Well, not even though, but I would say especially because he has haste. Okay, so there is the Incinerator, which I should have countered, but okay. Let's just draw. Okay. Salt Marsh enters into play tapped. And here is the Ringleader, which I will 100% counter. And normally it's goblins that should run out of fuel, but as you can see, we ran out of fuel instead. So let's just cast Duress. And you see here is another Ringleader, so yeah, we're getting annihilated. Because we don't have any mass removal here. Maybe we actually should. I don't know, how about Mutilate, but for that you need to have a lot of swamps. Okay, and there is also Lackey. So okay, this game is pretty much lost now. Okay, and Siege Gang Commander, yeah, you got the idea. Okay, I will choose Psychatog. The second pile is here, but of course it's too late. I mean, I just don't give up. But okay, yeah, we lost. Okay, I will play. This is not keepable at all. This one is not perfect either. So actually Smolder is very nice. And all of these things are pretty good. And even Psychatog is not terrible, but I don't know. Psychatog is not an early game card. I'm not sure. Accumulated knowledge. It's probably the one that is going to the bottom of the library. Yes, I will keep that. And okay, so here's the lackey. And as you know, every deck should be able to do something against the lackey. So we are capable of that. And here's the pile driver, which is also getting smothered. But you know, my smothers are not infinite, but the goblins are virtually infinite. That's the big difference between the positions that we have. So perhaps we should try Psychatog now. 2 cards here. Okay, let's see. The question is, how will AI be able to assess Psychatog's potential power and toughness? And here's Ringleader. Oh yeah, I should have, of course, stayed to counter that, because now we're getting in trouble. 2 cards, War Chief and Sharpshooter. All right. Oh, okay. So he's afraid of Psychatog. That's nice. Didn't expect that, to be honest. But okay. All right. So now that I counter that, he will still probably be afraid of our Psychatog, which is growing faster. Okay. That's rather interesting. Should we use lobotomy? That would be nice now. Okay. Let's try lobotomy. Matron, Fanatic, Sharpshooter, and Lackey. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I really don't know. All of them are pretty bad. And I'm not sure how our opponent will be able to use Sharpshooter. But, well, okay, let's get rid of Sharpshooter. Oops, what is that? Oh no, we accidentally exiled. Okay, lucky. Well, that's a pity. I just didn't understand how it's supposed to work. But okay. Not attacking again. That was very cowardly, perhaps I could even say. And yeah, we can use Smother. I don't know on what. Okay. So you should understand that he has more creatures than we do. And here's the Sharpshooter, the one that I actually wanted to destroy. So now I'll have to use Smother instead. But okay, I will now use Factor Fiction. So Wander Underground River, definitely go to the graveyard. Actually, having Wander in graveyard is great. And in the second pile, we have Island, Recoil, and Swamp. So, okay, we get that. Then we actually get Accumulated Knowledge. So these things aren't bad. Our opponent still has a ton of cards in hand, so Recoil doesn't work as this, pseudo-Vindicate. And it's actually a great card. I remember, when Invasion came out, I wasn't a fan of it, but then the more gold cards I saw, the more I understood that Wizards actually finally figured out how these gold cards should work. That they should have some kind of synergy. And okay, from blue, of course, you have got the bounce part. From black, you have got the discard part. But together, they form an absolutely new and unique effect, which will actually allow you to destroy permanence, which actually doesn't exist in either blue or black traditionally. So it's a perfect example of this nice game design. Ooh, okay, getting crazy with that. And we will smother this guy. We can't? Okay, it's because it doesn't understand how mana should be activated here. Okay. So, okay, we'll do that. Untapped, yeah, okay, of course. Right. And here is one more Sharpshooter. No, I should have discarded that with Lobotomy. All right, then. So, Let's actually start thinking about this very important thing, such as killing our opponent. And that's why we don't have to overcommit to the board. We don't have to use all of the lands that we have. We do have Wonder in Graveyard, but let's just see how big our Psychatog potentially is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 5, 12. So we are actually quite close to killing our opponent. Oh, I wonder if he actually is going to let me do that. Okay, for 1, yes. And then Mog Fanatic and untap him. Okay, so let's not worry about it. Let's just exile 2 cards. Just be careful not to exile the cards that actually make sense while they're in graveyard, such as Wonder and Accumulated Knowledge. But we can easily exile Smother. Okay, so pump for 1. But then Sharpshooter is going to be untapped, right? So we have to be careful. So I will again remove 2 cards from the graveyard. Okay. So yeah, nothing happened really. And oh my god, Siege Gang Commander. This is getting very near the end. Yeah, that's terrible. Okay. I have to think here a little bit. So what can be done? Our opponent still has 15. We actually lost some cards from the graveyard, so now we can only pump for 3 using the graveyard. So that would be 4 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We can play Wonder. Another thing we can try is that we can just go for this tempo thing and bounce Siege Gang Commander, but then when Siege Gang Commander comes into play next time again, we will get more goblins. So yeah, it looks pretty terrible. I don't know what to do, honestly. The only thing we can hope for, well, there's nothing to hope for, I will be honest with you. Okay, trying to shoot me, that's fine. Shoot him, okay, okay. Now, you shouldn't have done that. Shoot with Sharpshooter. So actually, guess what? Our opponent is good at using Sharpshooter. Okay. So yeah, what I'm really hoping for now is getting a ton of cards using Accumulated Knowledge or Factor Fiction or Gush. Oh no. Okay. Again, discard. Attack for 2. Shoot with Sharpshooter again. I will exile some cards again. Still alive, right? And sacking a goblin again. But you know, maybe it's not that terrible because our opponent is just wasting a lot of resources. Of course, so are we. Okay, I'm trying to understand how much damage there is. Okay, I don't even see the damage marked here. Kind of lost track. I think we must discard one, exile one more. Or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I think we must discard one more. Exile one more, I mean. Okay. So yeah, still alive, still alive. And there is Mog Fanatic. Oh no. But, yeah. Mog Fanatic, then exile cards. Okay. We have nothing now. Absolutely nothing. Oh, God. Okay, pile driver. Yeah, I mean, it's only fair. It's only fair. Okay. So, I mean, what else did you expect? Let's play against something where at least the matchup is a tiny bit more favorable, I guess. Maybe let's play against Blue-Green Madness. I can't use Aquamoeba, probably. Okay, that's fine. Guess it's not such a big deal. So, in my experience, usually, because I played both of these decks at the same time, as I told you, this is the golden era of Magic for me. Well, of Premodern at least. I think that Psychatog is at a tiny bit of an advantage here. Yeah, I will let him draw cards. Okay, end of turn, I will draw. Because technically, Psychatog is just supposed to be a bit more resilient, and Blue-Green Madness will probably run out of fuel. So, okay, counterspell. Gotta be careful not to make our opponent discard cards that they actually want to discard. So, okay, counterspell. Let's get rid of counterspell. Okay. And, but why not make him discard Circular Logic as well? Well, that's because I want to counter creatures. Not Merfolk Looter, of course, but some other creatures, I mean. Okay. So, I have to rethink some of the things. I guess we need more gush. Actually forgot how many copies there were. Because, you know, sometimes I don't alter my digital decks according to the paper deck that I have. So, yeah, sometimes there might be a little bit of inconsistency there. So, yeah, in any case, let's discard that and summon. No. Circular Logic, yes. Okay. Attacking. It's not for attacking, but okay. Nothing wrong with that. Don't want to be killed by Merfolk Looter. It sounds very humiliating. Oh, finally green. Roar of the Worm. Roar of the Worm. Yeah, so that's bad because you see, for one card we will need to do double counter spell. So it gives some card advantage. But of course here we can use recoil, which is good. So yeah, I think we will use recoil because look, we will destroy the token and our opponent will have to oh no, that's a Root Walla. That's a Root Walla. But I will counter Root Walla, okay? Can I counter Root Walla? Yeah, why not? Because it's still playing a card. Yeah, I'm afraid I just wasted too many resources on that. So look, just doesn't understand that Merfolk Looter should be used for Root Walla. Mongrel is scary. Oh, we're not getting really ahead of our opponent. So I said that most likely Blue-Green Madness will run out of fuel, but it looks like it's the opposite. Oh, I will counter Root Walla, even though it sounds like a bad exchange, but I will do that. Does he have counter magic? I forgot. I hope not. Okay. He has Unsummon, I know that for sure. But I don't care really. Okay. So yeah, let's play Duress now. 2 Arrogant Worms. Whoa. So you see, cannot really activate Arrogant Worm. What a shame. I mean, cannot activate the Looter to discard Arrogant Worm, but you got the idea. Okay, attack with Finkel. Draw Finkel, of course. Okay. And here's the Arrogant Worm. Which I cannot destroy with Smother. Yeah, so it's bad. It's bad, really. There aren't many cards that I can use. Okay, so play Lobotomy. So we're going to remove it from the game, right? Yes. Hooray. Okay, so no more Arrogant Worms in this game, except this one, which is pretty troublesome. It's going to be very humiliating if I lose. I'm afraid I will lose. I'm afraid I will lose, because what can I do against this huge Arrogant Worm? Yeah. Keep digging. Shadow Mage Infiltrator gets countered. I will counter Circular Logic. Okay. So like this is the this is the silliest thing I have ever done while playing Psychatog, but have no other choice to survive one more. Wait, what was that? There was probably Wander in the background, that's why I couldn't block. Well, okay, let's hope that we just show a better result now, or what, because it's pretty humiliating to be losing to AI who cannot even activate multicolored to use Madness ability. Okay, so there is nothing in our opponent's hand. But there are some fearsome creatures you see already. Okay, need more removal. We need more removal. Okay. Yeah, we're getting annihilated again, you see. And even Merfolk Glutor is pretty fearsome now. This one I will counter. Okay. Arrogant Worm, Mana Leak. And we will play Factor Fiction, which is not bad. Okay, Gush plus Underground River, or the... Well, of course I will take the second pile. Of course I will take the second pile. So now there is a little bit of hope. Actually having two of these guys is great. But yeah, for now I can only cast one. Alright. Draws and discards an Arrogant Worm, which I will counter. Alright, good. So now try Duress. Counter spell, careful study, Circular Logic. Yeah, counter spell, of course. Or maybe even Circular Logic. Yeah, let's discard Circular Logic. So let's just keep in mind that there is counter magic in our opponent's hand. I mean, again, it's not something that I would never expect, but yes. Okay. And summon Psychatog. That's actually pretty scary because... Not because the looter is attacking, but... Oh, okay, that was the flashback, but... Yeah, we can destroy that. It's scary because he can counter, but he cannot actually. He cannot counter. Again, that's silly, you know. Normally, if you know that you have got counter magic, you bounce a creature, then you wait with this mana ready to counter, but he just wasn't trying to do that, so that's misplay on our opponent's side. All right. Okay. I'm not looking at the graveyard just because I'm lazy. Okay, so counter spell, Factor Fiction. That's fine. That's fine. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Okay, so here are the piles. Wander, Psychatog, Smother. So obviously I will take this pile. I will take this pile. It's a very nice pile. Kill that. Play that. So, okay, I hope you will finally be able to see how Psychatog is supposed to work. Meaning that we will finally win. Well, that's fine. I don't care, to be honest. Okay, gotta start counting cards. Wait, we already could have won now. Okay. So yeah, Wander is in the graveyard. Does our opponent have Wander in graveyard? No. So our Psychatog actually is flying. So, okay, just attack for lethal. Okay, let's make sure that there are no blockers. Okay, no blockers. So, exile. Okay, let's see. 2, 3, 4 now. 5. Need 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that's right. Okay, let's do one more. I don't know, what am I doing? Okay, results, we win. Hooray. Okay, now the final game. Again, you know that with Psychatog it's always long. I remember the very first time that I played against a Psychatog deck. I don't remember, I probably was playing this mono green or something else that I had with Threshold. And my opponent just countered all of the stuff that I had, and you know, the game already was really dragging on for many tens of minutes, and then I was just thinking, you know, how is he going to kill me, or maybe he's just going to fizzle. And there was this Psychatog, because I have never seen this, you know, turn one kill, basically. Not turn one kill, but, you know, being able to take off all of life total was really impressive, I remember. Okay, so we're playing some kind of a control game now, which is interesting. Which technically means that we should be ahead of our opponent, but let's see. Okay, so there is Wonder, which we will counter. And yeah, we just don't have enough mana. Now I don't even have counter magic. So that's probably the best time to cast Shadow Mage. Okay, here is Arrogant Worm. Yeah, I will have to recoil Arrogant Worm. And what is discarded? Discarded Arrogant Worm, but without playing. Okay, this is just using our opponent's ignorance. But okay, look, we drew a land. Another Arrogant Worm, which I will recoil again. So, what is discarded? Again, Arrogant Worm. Yeah, no, we have it too good. I'm telling you. Land, please? No. Does it make sense to cast Duress now? Yeah, let's try that. Circular Logic, 2 Circular Logics and not 1 Counterspell. Okay, I will choose Counterspell. Okay, so our opponent has a ton of cards. So Circular Logic is pretty much a hard counter now. So we have to try and bait counter spells. Maybe with a probe. So okay, first we'll attack, all right? We'll attack first. See what we get. We get a land. Well, okay, maybe let's play Lobotomy. That would be interesting, really. It gets countered, as I expected. So it doesn't matter too much, because this is just getting rid of our opponent's counter. Because we certainly have more counters than our opponent does. So let's try one more Lobotomy. Circle Logic again, but again, that's what we expected. Probably should have played Mana Leak. Wait, I still can? Wait, okay. No, I couldn't. It was just prompting me to pay, but okay. Yeah, let's keep drawing. We can play Mana Leak. Yeah, Mana Leak worked. Hooray. Wow, that's how it should be. Okay. Have mana. Right. So, we will cast Pro, but what does our opponent have? I do not know. Well, in the worst case scenario, we'll discard Rootwalla, so it's not that he will be able to discard Arrogant Worm. Okay, so yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I will cast Probe with Kicker. Oh, wait, to cast... No, okay, it works. So Kicker, I will pay. Select player what? Meaning this player to draw 3 cards. Oh no! I will discard 2 cards. That's just, I didn't understand how this prompting works. That's terrible. Really. Should I discard 1 or 2 islands? Okay, really didn't want that to happen. Oh my god, that's terrible. Yeah, I guess serves me right. Maybe it evens out our opponent's chances because, yeah, there were a lot of things. Yeah, okay, here's what we can try. Oh, wait, we already? Yeah, okay. We already played a land? Yeah, I'm getting confused. But again, I made a mistake. Our opponent made more mistakes than that, so it makes us more or less even. Okay, end of turn. I will draw. Like that. Okay. So I think it's time to win, actually. Because we have a ton of cards in graveyard. Unsummon the Infiltrator. I think... yes. Unsummon the Infiltrator. That's fine. Does he have counter magic? Maybe yes. So, not going to try and cast it again. Here is Wonder. Yeah, I will counter that. Factor of Fiction. We can win now, can't we? So 7. Okay. So, alright, call back. No, okay, Alpha Strike. Right. In any case, I have to attack. Then we do this. It doesn't even understand that we have mana of that. Okay. Factor of Fiction. Piles 2 and 3. Of course, we always take the bigger pile now. Or do we? That's 3 cards. Gush and Salt Marsh. That's +6/+6. Because Gush gives you 2 islands and 2 more cards. Yeah, so, okay, we will actually choose Gush, of course. Okay, so draw... no, wait. Of course, use the alternative cost. Okay. Draw a ton of cards, right? So we just have to make sure that there is no unsummon. Well, there is no way we can make sure that there is no unsummon, so I will just keep activating this stuff and hope that there is no unsummon. Because of course our opponent has the right to keep us waiting and keep us activating Psychatog. Until the very last moment. Okay, I'm actually not counting how big Psychatog is. Just want to see how big it can get. Yeah, so, you know, there are some things that are easier to do in the digital version. So, for example, when you have all of this, you know, mass buffs, for example, and I don't know, when you have to count how big your kobolds are and so on and so forth. So, of course, AI does it much better and faster to doing the math. But if you just do such automatic actions, it's much more tiresome if you do this here. So, yeah, we won again. So there it is. This is my version of Psychatog. And yeah, it's always something that takes a lot of time. But in any case, thank you for watching. It's been fun for me. I hope that it was also more or less interesting for you. So tell me about the build of Psychatog that you have. I know that it's not a dominant deck in Premodern. Pretty much nobody plays it, as I know. But in any case, it's an iconic deck, and Psychatog is really one of the best creatures in Premodern, in my opinion, at least the one that I have got great memories of, and it is a really unique card. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.